We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Yesterday we heard when Karda Muni understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the chief of all the demigods, Vishnu, has descended, Kardam approached him in a secluded place, offered obeisances, and spoke as follows. Aho papacyamananam niraye svair amangalai kalena bhuya sanunam prasidanti devataha. Karda Muni said, "Oh, after a long time, the demigods of this universe have become pleased with the suffering souls who are in material entanglement because of their own misdeeds." Svai amangalai. That is very important point. Svai amangalai. By their own misdeeds, suffering is there. Krishna is giving the fruit. In commentary, this material world is a place for suffering, which is due to the misdeeds of the inhabitants, the conditioned souls themselves. The sufferings are not extraneously imposed upon them, rather the conditioned souls create their own suffering by their own acts. In the forest, fire takes place automatically. It is not that someone has to go there and set a fire. Because of friction among various trees, fire occurs automatically. When there is too much heat from the forest fire of this material world, the demigods, including Brahma himself, being harassed, approach the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and appeal to him to alleviate the condition. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends. In other words, when the demigods become distressed by the sufferings of the conditioned souls, they approach the Lord to remedy the suffering, and the Personality of Godhead descends. When the Lord descends, all the demigods become enlivened. Therefore, Karda Muni said, after many years of human suffering, all the demigods are now satisfied, because Kapil Dev, the incarnation of Godhead, has appeared. Bahu Janma Vipakvena Samyak Yoga Samadhina Drashtum Yatante Yataya Shunya Gareshu Yatpadam. After many births, mature yogis, by complete trance in yoga, endeavor in secluded places to see the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Samadhi, they will see. Sa eva Bhagavan Adya Helanam Ganayaya Griheshu Jato Gramyanam Yahsvanam Paksha Poshana. Not considering the negligence of ordinary householders like us, that very same Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in our homes just to support his devotees. Here, out of humbleness, he's saying, but the meaning is, householders, they are attached to material things, a wife, children, all this, so they neglect Supreme Lord. But Supreme Lord not considers that neglect. He anyway appears in our homes just to support his devotees, to rescue the fallen souls. Sviyam Vakyam Ritam Kartum Avatirno Sime Grihe Chikir Shur Bhagavan Gyanam Bhaktanam Mana Vardana. Karda Muni said, "You, my dear Lord, who are always increasing the honor of your devotees, have descended in my home just to fulfill your word and disseminate the process of real knowledge." In commentary, when the Lord appeared before Karda Muni after his mature yoga practice, he promised that he would become Kardam's son. He descended as the son of Karda Muni in order to fulfill that promise. Another purpose of his appearance is Chikir Shur Bhagavan Gyanam, to distribute knowledge. Real knowledge and real liberation is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in devotional service. Tanyeva te bhirupani rupani bhagavam stava yani yani cha rochante swa jananam arupina. My dear Lord, although you have no material form, you have your own innumerable forms. They truly are your transcendental forms, which are pleasing to your devotees. He realized this point, that this is not material form now appearing. By the grace of Krishna, like Brahma also told in 10th Canto, that when you appear, then we can understand what is material, what is spiritual. By your presence, that is enlightened. So he also realized this now. Tvam suribhis tattva bubutsa yadha sadabhi va darhana padapitam aishwarya vairagya yasho vabodha virya shriya purtam aham prapadye. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the reservoir that always deserves to receive worshipful homage from all great sages, eager to understand the absolute truth. You are full in opulence, renunciation, transcendental fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty. And therefore I surrender myself unto your lotus feet. This is similar as in Vishnu Puran. What is the meaning of word Bhagavan? Who has totality of all these 6 opulences? These are principal. There are innumerable opulences. These are categories only, principal. And Jiva Goswami also gave that explanation. Bhagavan means Bhajaniya Guna Vishishta. He has such qualities that automatically someone wants to worship him. So here Karda Muni is saying, your lotus feet always deserve worship, and you are full in opulence, all these 6. Therefore, I surrender myself unto your lotus feet. It is natural. Param pradhanam purusham mahantam kalam kavim trivritam lokapalam atmanubhutyānugata prapancham svachanda shaktim kapilam prapadye. I surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, descended in the form of Kapila, who is independently powerful and transcendental, who is the Supreme Person and the Lord of the sum total of matter, that is Pradhanam, and the element of time, who is fully cognizant maintainer of all the universes under the 3 modes of material nature, and who absorbs the material manifestation after their dissolution. It goes inside him. Again, fully cognizant maintainer of the universe means he's aware of everything what is going on in this universe. We are always under surveillance, but his surveillance is not to harm us. It is meant for our good. He's always helping us, but we are not always realizing that fact, that whatever is happening is his grace. It is meant to uplift us, to realize through suffering. Generally, when we suffer, we don't see that as something good. But that is also his mercy, because to make us realize that we did wrong activities in order to rectify us. So that is also his mercy. So our Gurudev also, when one devotee asked, but it depends with what kind of mood you ask and what Gurudev wants to say. She asked, is it really lunar eclipse is very inauspicious and so many bad effects and all this is coming? Then Gurudev said, how it can be inauspicious? It is coming from Krishna. So, but we have to understand, if I see lunar eclipse and its negative influence as something imposed, some suffering imposed on me, like I am innocent and that is coming to attack me, is hostile, then that kind of thinking is wrong. Because we are getting the fruits of our own actions. No one is a cause of our suffering. And if we are not seeing everything in relation to Krishna, then that is wrong vision. So Gurudev just wanted to say in that instance that lunar eclipse is also only instrumental in the hand of Supreme Lord to give certain result. But that result is auspicious for us, because we have to see the grace of Supreme Lord in all circumstances. He is always gracing us through rectifying us, teaching us. So by itself, lunar eclipse is not hostile, like Gurudev said. The Suniti said to, and Narad said to Dhruva, don't think anyone is hostile to you. You are reaping the fruits of your own action. It is not that it is possible to get something from someone which you don't deserve as per your actions, and Krishna is behind that. So if we see even the negative effects of lunar eclipse as grace of Krishna to purify us, to rectify us, as instrumental in the hand of Krishna, then in that sense it is auspicious. But not that someone misunderstood. Gurudev said that lunar eclipse is auspicious. No, you have to understand in what context and what Gurudev wanted to say. Because at other times, Gurudev used to check in that almanac when is auspicious and inauspicious time to travel. According to Vedic date astrology, you will have in days, certain periods are good to start travel, certain are not. That is inauspicious time. So Gurudev used to check. So, but that time is also coming from Krishna. Everything is coming from Krishna here. It is said, sum total of matter he's controlling, and the element of time, Krishna is time. So why some time is then inauspicious? So we have to understand according to circumstance, person, and what the point Gurudev wants to say. The Gurudev's conclusion was not that solar eclipse is inauspicious and lunar eclipse is auspicious. That is not Gurudev's conclusion, but he wanted to say we have to see as grace of Supreme Lord. But that is also true for solar eclipse. But also when we are in this world and we our target is to serve Krishna, then we also can accept what is favorable and unfavorable. We can try, like for health and this, for travel like this, we should also consider with the target to serve Krishna, so that we will not have those problems, and we can engage ourselves uninterruptedly in the service of Krishna. So isolatedly and without proper understanding, we may sometimes understand what Shastra says, what Guru says. So according to the degree of our surrender, we can catch the meaning. Smabhi prichedyapatim prajanam tvaya avatirnarna utapta kama parivrajat padavim asti toham charishye tvam hridi yunjan vishokaha. Also you find in Hari Bhakti Vilas, written by Sanatana Goswami on the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, about auspicious times for certain, like for Diksha, for this, for, and what are inauspicious times, so that is also considered. But one can say that time is inauspicious time is also coming from Krishna, so it is auspicious. Yes, if you see it in that way, that everything is the grace of Krishna, but not that like lunar eclipse is auspicious because it is coming from Krishna. Then one has to see everything as auspicious, which really is, but you have to be on that platform to realize, and that does not mean that devotee who realize this, that he will not serve Krishna according to his desire, accepting what is favorable, what is unfavorable for his devotion. Today I have something to ask from you, who are the Lord of all living entities. Since I have now been liberated by you from my debts to my Father, and since all my desires are fulfilled, I wish to accept the order of an itinerant mendicant, means traveling mendicant, paribrajak. Renouncing this family life, I wish to wander about, free from lamentation, thinking always of you in my heart. Here, in commentary, actually sannyas or renunciation of material household life necessitates complete absorption in Krishna consciousness and immersion in the self. And this sannyas can happen also in household lives. That is why he used this word, renunciation of material household life, when your vision is material. But if someone is completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, then he's sannyasi, means fully dedicated to Krishna, even in household life, when his vision is different. House belongs to Krishna, all belong to Krishna, everything, and fully engaged in service of Krishna. That is the point, because here further he says, one does not take sannyas, freedom from family responsibility in the renounced order of life, to make another family, or to create an embarrassing transcendental fraud, means cheating, in the name of sannyas. Sannyas means you have to be fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Not only external dress and giving up certain responsibility like this, and then enjoying, and again another family or That is not proper. The sannyasi's business is not to become proprietor of so many things and amass money from the innocent public. A sannyasi is proud that he is always thinking of Krishna within himself. Of course, there are two kinds of devotees of the Lord. One is called Goshtyanandi, which means those who are preachers and have many followers for preaching the glories of the Lord, and who live among those many followers just to organize missionary activities. Other devotees are Atmanandi. Here this word is used, otherwise also Bhajananandi. So Atmanandi are self-satisfied and do not take the risk of preaching work. They remain therefore alone with God. In this classification was Karda Muni. He wanted to be free from all anxieties and remain alone within his heart with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parivraja means an itinerant mendicant. A mendicant sannyasi should not live anywhere for more than 3 days. He must be always moving because his duty is to move from door to door and enlighten people about Krishna consciousness. That is why we say Tridandi Sami Paribrajaka Acharjo. Those who are preachers, Paribrajak, they go everywhere. And our Kolkata Mat in charge, Parangurudev's disciple, his name is Srila Bhakti Bharidi Paribrajak Maharaj. Also one name of sannyasi can be. So two types, like Gorkishore Das Babaji was Bhajananandi, but he had one disciple, Bhakti Sansar Thakur. He was Goshtanandi. He wanted to be Bhajananandi. He was never thinking about preaching. He was already in Mayapur chanting 3 lakhs daily Harinam for 10 years. Fully Bhajananandi. And not thinking of preaching. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Guru Parampara, they ordered him, you will have to preach. And he said, how? I have no money, I have no man. Then Mahaprabhu said, I will send you everything. You just start. So they came. That is Goshtanandi. So according to Krishna's will, we have to serve him. And it is not that one is better than the other. The thing is, everyone has to serve according to Krishna's desire. In that way. Shri, in our Guru Parampara, you have both Goshtanandi and Bhajananandi Gurus. So we cannot say one is better than the other. Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Maya Proktam Hilokasya Pramanam Satya Lokike Atajani Maya Tubhyam Yat Avocham Rita Mune. The Personality of Godhead Kapila said, whatever I speak, whether directly or in the scriptures, is authoritative in all respects for the people of the world. O Muni, because I told you before that I would become your son, I have descended to fulfill this truth. One second. Etan me janma lokesmin mumukshunam durashayat prasankyanaya tattvanam samatayatma darshane. My appearance in this world is especially to explain the philosophy of Sankhya, which is highly esteemed for self-realization by those desiring freedom from the entanglement of unnecessary material desires. That automatically happens. Like when sun comes, light is there. When Supreme Lord comes, then he is enlightening others with truth, with proper knowledge, and that will free one from unnecessary material desires. Esha atma pato vyakto nashtah kalena bhuyasa tam pravartayitum deham imam vidimaya britam. This path of self-realization, which is difficult to understand, has now been lost in the course of time. Please know that I have assumed this body of Kapila to introduce and explain this philosophy to human society again. That is his lila. Like Krishna also said to Arjuna, this knowledge which I will explain to you was lost during course of time. Now again I am explaining. It is by the will of Krishna that it gradually goes down, and then he again appears, or he sends his own representative, and then again it is revealed, and again it will go down and again revealed. That is his pastime of rescuing this world from ignorance. All the time this is going on. That is his duty, to be compassionate to fallen souls, and when we deviate in due course of time, again he will appear, and that will continuously go on. Guru Parampara or his avatars will never stop. Guru Parampara will always be there, or avatars appearing also will always be there. Those jivas who have Sukriti, they will come in touch. Others will not. But it is not that he is at any time not merciful. Depends on our past deeds, whether we are able to get in touch with that pure mercy. Gacha kamam maya prishto mai sanyasta karmana jitva sudurjaya mrityum amritat tvaya mam bhaja. Just I wanted to say this. Now being sanctioned by me, go as you desire, surrendering all your activities to me, conquering unsurmountable death, worship me for eternal life. That grace is eternal. It can never be destroyed. The only thing is whether we are in touch with that mercy or not, but it can never be destroyed. It is always existing. Vedas are always existing, Krishna is always existing, all his persons are always existing. And they descend in this world to give mercy all the time. It is not that Bhagavatam or it can be destroyed like forever. No. It is always existing. Sometimes appearing in this world, again disappearing, appearing, but it is always there. That is why those who worship Krishna, those who are in touch with Shastra, with his personal associate, worship Krishna, they can surpass this insurmountable death. Means they will realize their eternal identity and will worship him for eternal life in devotion to him. That is real life, actually, eternal. Now we are in illusion. What we think, I was born, I will die, I came into existence, and one time I will not exist anymore. That is all illusion. Atma is eternal and relation with Krishna is eternal. and devotion to him is eternal, but we are now averse to him. That is why we are in illusion. Then he appears to wake us up, and then we realize what is the actual truth. Mam Atmanam Swayam Jyoti Sarva Bhuta Guhashayam Atma Nyevatmana Vikshya Vishoko Bhayam Richasi. In your own heart. So here in previous verse also, he being sanctioned by me means Krishna approved. Yes, you may serve me in this way. You renounce family life, you go to a secluded place and travel everywhere, and you always think of me inside your heart. So sanctioned by me. It has to be sanctioned by Krishna or Gurudev. That thing, how we will serve Krishna. Like when Gurudev came to Slovenia in 2002, then he asked me in private, where do the devotees meet here for programs? Then I said, not regularly like happening. Mostly they're alone at home and they're chanting. Then Gurudev said, that is not good. That is only possible that in secluded place one will chant only if Guru gives permission. But that is for highly elevated devotees. They may do like that. But generally, we need association of devotees to get inspiration, strength. It combined that it will give more strength. So he said, only if Guru gives permission, then you can go to secluded place and worship Krishna, otherwise not. And Mahaprabhu is very much pleased when he sees that devotees gather together and they worship unitedly Krishna. He's very much pleased. So you have to do this. So what I want to say, in this case, it was sanctioned by Bhagavan or by Guru. But if it is not, because Kardam Rishi was pure devotee, and also it was not Kali Yuga, and he was in that pure atmosphere and everything, then you can meditate always on him. But in Kali Yuga and with our state of consciousness, it is very difficult for us to stay alone and meditate on Krishna. We are not qualified, so for us, congregational bhajan is recommended. That is sanctioned. And that one is not sanctioned. Also, it happened during the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He made this Gauriya Math and was preaching all over India, and he engaged his disciples in assisting in preaching by collecting, by speaking Harikatha and all different services for preaching. But some of his disciples, without taking his permission, they went to Radhakund to do bhajan in secluded place, to chant Harinam and to internally meditate on Radha Krishna Lila and serve in that Lila. Then Prabhupada wrote that song, Vaishnavke. Ore mon, tumi kisar Vaishnav. Pratishtara tore, nirjanero ghore, taba Harinam kevala koitak. Oh my mind, preaching to his own mind, to teach by example. He said, oh my mind, what kind of Vaishnav you are. For the sake of name and fame, you want to go to secluded place. But you should know that type of chanting, your chanting of Harinam in that secluded place is total hypocrisy, cheating. You will deprive yourself. And then further in that song, Vaishnav Keh, he's saying, Radha Nijo John Charya, you gave up the association of personal associate of Radharani and want to go to secluded place. What kind of bhajan will be there? And they did not take permission. Nayan Moni Manjari means Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, directly associate of Radharani. Manjari, real Manjari, not imaginary thinking Manjari, real Manjari. Radharani's personal associate, Andarupa Manjari. She appeared in this world as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as Guru, and he's engaging us in the service of Krishna, but we give him up, means Radha Nijo John, personal associate of Radharani, we give him up without taking permission. We want to go to do bhajan in secluded place to feel ourselves we are very much advanced devotees for name and fame. That is highest type of bhajan, sitting in Radha Kund, externally chanting Harinam. Internally, I will assist Radharani in the service of Krishna. But our Gurudev explained, even when you enter into transcendental realm, Vrindavan, there also you will have to serve Radha Krishna under the guidance of Sakya and Manjari. You have to submit to them. That principle is there. It is not that independently or directly you can do. You have to submit. There also this principle of Guru is there. So if you are not practicing this now in this world, Nayan Moni Manjari came in this world to engage you in the service of Krishna, and with that, you giving her up or him up, you go to Radha Kund chanting and thinking of Lila. That will be total imagination. Nothing real. Total imagination. You will cheat yourself of real benefit, means devotion to Krishna for the sake of getting name and fame. I am such a great devotee. I am in Radha Kund. I am thinking my Manjari, all this highest thing, everything highest, highest, highest. We want. We don't want service of Krishna, Radharani. We want to be highest. That is the thing we want. So we get such things, what we want. If someone wants service of Krishna, he will get service of Krishna from actual devotee. But giving up that devotee, doing some imaginary thing, then what benefit you will get? But here, in this case, Supreme Lord or Guru sanctioned, yes, you can go to secluded place and you can worship me. Also in last verse of this song of Prabhupada, he said, Shri Daita Das, Kirtana Das, Karo Uchek Sware Harinam Rob. Kirtana Prabhave Smarana Hoive, say Kale Nirjan Bhajan Sambhav. Shri Daita Das means Varshavanavi Daita Das means Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Diksha name. He's always praying for Kirtan, means loud chanting of holy name with association of devotees, loud chanting without offenses. Then when by the influence of Kirtan, Kirtana Prabhave, by the effect of Kirtan, Smarana Hoibe, Smaran, remembrance of Krishna will be automatic in purified heart. Automatic when you say Krishna, Krishna's form is there in your heart. In purified heart, then at that time only it is possible to worship in secluded place. But with dirty heart, it is not recommended because that will carry you to other thoughts. And there will be no one to see after you, to look after you, to rescue you. But if you stay in association of devotees, they will encourage you, they will help you, and if you will want to deviate, they will catch you and chastise you. That is the benefit of sadhu sangha. So he told, it is not that nirjan bhajan means secluded bhajan is prohibited, but it is a matter of qualification on one side and a matter of whether Guru gave you that permission or not. to serve in such a way. We have to serve as bona fide Guru engages us. Like Sai Maharaj many times used to say, work now, samadhi later. Because he appeared, Sai Maharaj, with this mission to spread Harinam everywhere, all over the world. So he engaged all his disciples and others for this purpose. That is their seva. They should not now go to Vrindavan and chant secluded place and think samadhi. No. Work now, samadhi later. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur played this pastime. First samadhi, he got realization, means playing pastime. Then he was ordered to preach everywhere. And he had power to do that. So the point is, we have to do as per Guru's order, which is the same as order of Supreme Lord, for his service, what he wants from us. Like he never ordered Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj to have some extensive preaching. He had some local preaching, means those who came to him, he used to explain some things and reject cheaters and this. And he had one disciple, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he preached all over the world. Our Gurudev told that no Acharya before Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur spoke against secluded bhajan. He was the first to say against. No one before Narottam Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if Bhaktivinoda Thakur even sang in song, Nirjane Bosya, that one song, when I will sit in secluded place and think of Radha Krishna, that is not prohibited, that is a matter of adhikar. So when Prabhupada saw they have no such adhikar, no such qualification, he said, you are not qualified, so you should not attempt to do this. And he also saw that some want to do this to be renowned as a great devotees, like Haridas Thakur, he's in secluded place chanting, or I will go Radha Kund, highest. So purpose was to be famous, not to serve Krishna. So he spoke against that type of secluded bhajan. But those who were qualified, he also initiated some Babajis, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he engaged, and he told them, you do bhajan in secluded place and think of Radha Krishna. Here Kapil Bhagavan is further saying, in your own heart, through your intellect, you will always see me. Through your intellect here means purified intellect, that which is inclined to serve Krishna. You will always see me, the supreme self-effulgent soul dwelling within the hearts of all living entities. Thus you will achieve the state of eternal life, free from all lamentation and fear. All conditioned souls, we are inevitably afraid and we lament because we want to enjoy these things and we also become attached, but inevitably time will take away and we lose. Then we lament and we are afraid I will die, or so many other fears are there. That is indicative of material existence, that consciousness. But when one is liberated from material consciousness on transcendental eternal plane, there is no possibility of any lamentation, because nothing can be lost. And there is no fear, because you are above death and above suffering, and Krishna is always there to protect, to maintain. There is no anxiety. But we cannot imitate this. We really have to engage in bhajan under the guidance of bona fide guru, and we have to come to that platform. Then also we will see, we'll get darshan of Krishna in the heart of everyone. Then you can give due respect to all and will not desire respect from anyone, and there is no lamentation, no fear. Then in that state, actually you can purely chant Harinam, and by that purely chanting Harinam, one will get Krishna Prem. Matra Adhyatmikim Vidyam Shamanim Sarva Karmanam Vitarishe Yaya Chaso Bhaya Chati Tarishyati. I shall also describe this sublime knowledge, which is the door to spiritual life, to my mother, so that she also can attain perfection and self-realization, ending all reactions to fruitive activities. Thus, she also will be freed from all material fear. Maitreya Uvach. Evam samuditastena kapilena prajapati dakshini kritatam pritovanam eva jagamaha. Sri Maitreya said, thus when Karda Muni, the progenitor of human society, was spoken to in fullness by his son Kapila, he circumambulated him, parikrama, that is one kind of service. And with a good, pacified mind, he at once left for the forest. So this is the point. Someone who has pacified mind, he can go to forest. Not one who is fully disturbed with so many desires like this. He has to worship in household life appropriately. Then when he will purify his heart, then he is eligible to go to forest. Otherwise, with his disturbed mind, wherever he will go, forest, or he will be disturbed there. And he will apply his nature there. That is why we may go to Vrindavan Dham. I heard from one, our God brother Sannyasi. We may go to Vrindavan Dham, but we will want to enjoy there, because we took our nature with us. We say externally, I'm going to Dham, but we come there and we enjoy. That is not actually coming to Vrindavan. So only changing place, but not changing ourselves, that will not work. Parikrama, you will find in India, they will come to temple, bow down, and then they will do parikrama of the temple when they will reach, because that is one kind of service to Krishna. To keep him in the center, you go around him. He's in the center, he's to be served, so keeping him in the center, you go around him. And we do Tulsi Parikrama. Also Guru, you can do Parikrama, Vaishnav, and Dham Parikrama. Not Parikrama. Parikrama is proper pronunciation. Vratam sa astito maunam atmaika sharanamuni nihsango vyacharat kshonim Anagnir Aniketana. The sage Kardam accepted silence as a vow in order to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and take shelter of Him exclusively. Without association, he traveled over the surface of the globe as a sannyasi, devoid of any relationship with fire or shelter. Fire may be that yagya, yes. A sannyasi should be completely detached from fire and any residential quarters. A grihasta has a relationship with fire either for offering sacrifices or for cooking, but a sannyasi is freed from these two responsibilities. Yes, in any place. And Mauna he accepted because his duty is not to preach. So he's not speaking anything, but always inside he's singing the glories of Krishna. But those who are ordered to preach, their silence means they will not speak any worldly topics, but they will speak only about Krishna. That is actual silence. Tomorrow we'll further here.